Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Bronze Mercy. This is about 800 SR based on what I've been told. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. Joshua wants to check out one that is this low. Gloss says, good afternoon, Mr. Temporal. Scarfington the Third. Okay, okay. And then we've got That Used to Be Me. You can do it too. Yep. This is not a place to stand. Like, I know the match hasn't started yet, but like, middle of the lane, back turned towards the enemies. I know you're trying to get up here, but like, you have to pull the trigger now. And if you can't get that one, you got to pull the trigger to pull yourself back here. This is just not an option. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, so just boost your BAP. You can't get up there, just boost your BAP. No, you don't need to heal the Reinhardt or the Zarya, boost the BAP. So the BAP has the most effective range of your non-Widow people. Obviously, yes, being up on your Widow, having access to your Widow would have been great. You'd be able to res your Widow. Maybe things would work out better for her in the next life. That would be good. But if you look at these people, Reinhardt is super limited range. All he's got is Fire Strike. Zarya's a little better with right-click ability than Reinhardt, but that's still not quite what we're going to go with because, hey, zero energy Zarya doing right-clicks until you see she gets some energy while they're pretty far away, not your favorite. Sombra could work. You could justify being standing out here, damage boosting the Sombra while she's playing an angle, and she is playing an angle, so that's a good sign. Be even happier if she was like up here, but this is a good sign that she's over here. So this is actually tempting to me, but BAP has the best fall off range. His weapon is going to see. So with hit scan weapons that don't have scopes anyways, with hit scan weapons, what happens is they have ranges that'll do, like, I do full damage from this range to this range, and then I do less damage from this range to this range, and then I do even less damage or no damage once I get outside that. And BAP's fall off range is better than Sombra's. So you might actually consider going, hey, I'm going to just damage boost my BAP right now. And you're going, who can see the opponents? Well, BAP can see the opponents and has range. Sombra can see the opponents and has an off angle, also very tempting. Zarya can see the opponents, but doesn't do much damage at this range, especially with no energy. So we're sort of doing a priority list of who do we want to work with. And now, again, we'd like to res Mercy, but unless you can super jump up off of your BAP, that's not going to be an option. If you can super jump up off of your BAP, go res Widow.
Where does it hurt?
Mm-hmm. You're just going to toggle. So now you can look at this and just toggle a smidgen of heals onto your Reinhardt. Just a smidge. Okay. You're done. Your Reinhardt has plenty of health. You see that? Your Reinhardt has plenty of health now. And your BAP's paying attention to him. So at this point, go ahead and switch back and start damage boosting your Zarya. Okay, now you might go back to your Reinhardt because he took a little more damage and go, hey, I'm going to stay on him because my damage boost targets aren't great just until he's a little more healthy.
Stay here.
And again, I'm not interested in your Reinhardt anymore. I'm going to swap right back to your Zarya. Your Zarya has better range. You could do the BAP, but I'm going to swap to your Zarya because your Zarya, hey, a little bit closer to the targets than earlier, still doesn't have any energy, but is also discorded. And if she starts getting blown up, I'll be able to switch from damage boosting her to healing her faster. So that's what we're looking to do here.
Come out and face me.
Healing stream engaged.
So that's tempting, but we want to damage boost that. He's full health. Why are we staying heal beam on this BAP for so long that's full health?
My turn. I have found the enemy.
Damage increase.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't have a Widow up there. I just am willing you to have a Widow up there. Your Widow swapped to Reaper, in fact. Okay. I don't really want you standing here. If you could get yourself behind cover, Find cover, real cover. Real cover, you want real cover. I know people are like, oh, I'm supposed to stand behind the Rhine Shield, and the Rhine Shield is the point, and like we group up behind the Rhine Shield. The Rhine Shield is an illusion. The Rhine Shield is very temporary, untrustworthy cover, and you'll actually find that you don't want to rely on the Rhine Shield as at all if you can avoid it. What the Rhine Shield is for your team is for your team to transition through very tricky rotations in a very temporary manner. What you want to actually do is rely on these infinite health pieces of cover like this. These things that they just can't. Fire strikes don't go through these. That's pretty cool. These don't break if they take too much damage. So you can always rely on these. These are never going to get flashed down real quick while he throws a fire strike or anything like that, and you get headshot by a widow through them. Or that's not going to happen. That will happen to Rhine Shields. So we really actually aren't interested in Rhine Shields if we can find something better to use as our cover. We'll use it very temporarily, but we're really looking for something better. We don't just want to hang out behind our Rhine Shield like this.
I'm taking care of you.
Okay? I don't want to heal here. I want a damage boost. Okay, boost up to the Reaper. Totally boost up to the Reaper. Boost up to the Reaper, damage boost the Reaper. Figure out what he's going to accomplish as he goes crazy, as he does silly amounts of work with his aggressive teleport. He might get stuff here. You might want to damage boost that. You might want to heal that. If you start taking damage or if you don't like it, no problem. You can Guardian out. Nice little Guardian Angel path out here back to your team. Whereas now you can't help Reaper. You needed to go up there when he gave you that option. Now you can't help him. And he might do a lot of work, or he might get blown up. Either way, it was relatively safe for you to go up there. Yes, D.Va could have jumped on you, but she would have had to be jumping on a Reaper. It's not likely. Cover, good. Again, I don't need to take this Zarya from 90% health to 100% health. I can just damage boost. Okay. So I don't want to be here. You're so far in front of your team. This isn't your cover anymore. This is now your cover. So you hang in here and you can still pick whichever target you want. You might go, hey, I'd like to be healing the Zarya. If I'm healing the Zarya or if I'm damage boosting the Zarya, I'm going to do it from up here. I'm not going to do it from here. You see how relative to your team, your positioning just doesn't make sense? You can be here. Now it makes a little more sense. It's not great, but it makes a little more sense. But realistically, you'd probably go, I just can't help those. I'm going to heal up my BAP. Oh, my BAP's been healed up. Your BAP you can actually heal to full because he's worth healing to full. He won't get healed up to full by the other support. He is the other support. So you could go, I'm going to heal my BAP up to full, and then I'm going to Guardian over here and start boosting the Junkrat, who's on a nice different angle here to do some work. That's what I'm going to do. And then once I see a need, I can swap back over here and heal or boost, etc. The payload is lava, stay away. Oh, shoot. Don't walk into McCrew's face. Don't walk into McCrew's face. Do you know if he has flash? No, you wanted to finish him. You just didn't want to do it in his face. Okay, so. Tuck on the left cover. Don't be up here in front of your tanks. Don't be here. Don't do it. You, as Mercy, do not need to be the one to stop the cart unless you're specifically choosing to stop it with Valk. That is a thing that Mercies can reasonably do. But you do not need to be the one to stop the cart when both of your tanks are alive. Doesn't need to happen. Doesn't need to happen. If your tanks are choosing not to touch the payload, then the payload is going to get the checkpoint. And that's the end of the discussion. You aren't going to be the one to go touch the point while both of your tanks are alive. And that's not some, oh, well, we're going to throw because our tanks aren't playing the game right. It's just a matter of reality where if you have to put yourself here, your team is very unlikely to win the fight. Again, you can do this with Valk, but this is something you do with Valk in like a 4v4 situation, 4v5 situation when you've already lost tanks or when your tanks are actually busy doing something. Your tanks are just out of position. So we're not going to go touch the card here because it makes us too easy to eliminate. The Valk definitely helps. And now we've popped the Valk, but we've popped Valk at 64 HP. You could have instantly lost this Valk. And this McCree can flash and eliminate you here, so I hate it. But now you've got this McCree low health. And I don't want you to stay close to this McCree. I just want you to take care of the McCree. I don't want you to swap targets to the soldier. Don't get close to the McCree. In fact, get further away to the McCree from the McCree. Get to like the like post relative to the McCree, but keep shooting at the McCree. Get the McCree elimination. You already did so much work here. Do it. Get rid of him. Yep, I can. We'll cover Mercy's good spots on the second point when we get there. Yeah, so this is unfortunate. You spent 2/3 of your Valk on Blaster, and because you switched targets, you didn't get anyone.
Let me get you patched. This is not your time.
Okay, double damage boost through a window looks good to me. No, ah! You have the option to double damage boost teammates through a window, so they'll do stupid amounts of damage. 130 times 2. Like, think of how much silly damage those two will do with Zarya right clicks and Bap left clicks through here. They will just crush this Rhine shield. They will drive this team back so fast, so hard. Or you can heal over here and be getting 2 critical teammates up to 60, 70% HP. Both of these options are so much better for this last remaining bit of Valkyrie than pulling out your blaster. I don't know why you've pulled out your blaster here. And by I don't know why, I mean you're wrong to have pulled out your blaster here. You want the window. Don't dodge into the fire strike. Thank you. You gonna heal at Bap? Bap can't heal himself very easily. He can use shift, but we don't want him to have to. Why are you here? You are totally fine to continue to heal people from here. Boost people from here. Even if you wanted Reinhardt, who you didn't need, you can go peek and then pull yourself back, and you can literally heal Reinhardt through the wall for 1.3 seconds, or boost him through the wall, whichever. You don't need to stand here in the open. You can stand behind cover. You being able to see your opponents doesn't really help you as Mercy. You being able to see teammates is awesome. You being able to see opponents doesn't really help you. So the payload is cover, but I don't want you taking this cover that's like so in front of your team. Like you being here doesn't really make me more comfortable just because it's cover. I want you on cover that is also behind your team, like here. Or, you know, maybe if you had to, you could go here, crouch here, hide here, but really, I just don't want you here. Or you could super jump your way up here, beam down, and tuck behind the wall. Like, there's options, but please don't be here. Again, I don't want you in the death ball as Mercy.
I'm taking care of you. Not good.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Come on.
Ah, the wonders
Okay.
of modern medicine.
Don't type at your team. This is the same as being AFK. If you have something to say to your team, you say it in voice. If they're not in voice, you can't reach them. I am serious. Your options are voice chat, as a distant second, the commands that you can actually enter. That's not fair to call it a distant second. Your options are voice chat or the in-game callouts, like pressing X for I need healing or Z for what your ult charge is, or whatever you've rebounded them to. These are useful. Then we'd go down quite a bit to get to things like group up and attack the objective and things like that, which are pretty worthless. And typing just doesn't exist. Seriously, typing is effectively being AFK. It's not worth doing. You can communicate things through voice chat. Voice chat can be useful, or you can choose not to use voice chat. I got no issue with that, but you're not typing at people. It is the same as being AFK. It's not going to get things done. On the net, it will lose you a lot more than it'll help you. This Mercy player looks better than 800 to you? Maybe. I don't know about that. They might be moving up, but they're not going to move up like lightning based on what I'm seeing.
Let me show you how it is.
Yeah. So we just Guardian Angeled into the open here. This is unfortunate. So here you are. We've tucked a little to the left for cover. It's unfortunate that we weren't sort of already up here with our Junkrat, because our Junkrat had the most aggressive angle. So we could have been up here with cover, boosting our Junkrat, healing our Junkrat. Our Junkrat would have been undivable if we'd been here.
Let me show you how to.
And I think there you were probably aiming for your Junkrat. I don't think you stopped short. I think you just didn't actually aim for him properly. I'm so glad that McCree didn't pull his trigger at the time it would have gotten us. But now we're gone. We just leave. So you actually needed to recognize this fight is over. This is as good as it's going to get for you getting out. This Guardian Angel right here is as good as it's going to get for you getting out. From here, you're either going to go that way or try to go this way. But there's not going to be any better chance for you to get out. So if you can't get out right now, you're not going to be able to like hide long enough for these guys to go, oh, wouldn't that be fun? We could go back to the mass Mercy res meta where Mercies were hiding. There's not going to be time, like this is your only chance to get out if you Guardian Angel right now. There's no soul for you to super jump to get out up here. You're not going to be able to walk up here to get out, so that's obviously out of the question. You're not going to be able to just exist over here long enough for your 4 teammates to show back up. So you have to get out right now, and if that can't happen, you need to walk towards the cart immediately. You won't make it to the cart before you're eliminated, but you need to walk towards the cart immediately so that you don't get staggered, so that you guys potentially get another fight on second. Nope, you're trying to hide. Nope, you're going to get staggered. He gave you a second life and you didn't take it. Oof, that was the GA right there. Right there. And it did exist. You just missed it. So here you are. Boom. So if you have prefer beam target for Guardian Angel, you could get it even now. But even if you don't have prefer beam target for Guardian Angel, you could have as he was jumping, but before he'd shifted over to the left there, as before he got drifted left in the air, you could have Guardian to him and drifted left yourself. Nope. This fight isn't ready. These guys aren't going to win. Yeah, you getting out is right. Cool. So what are the good cover spots in the warehouse room as defending Mercy? Well, I mean, we went over how for a moment this was a valid one. We went over how you can toss your beam down from here reasonably. Yes, there's an exit here. You have to be aware of it, but you can toss your beam down from here. You can toss your beam from here. You'd like to have control of this. You also will pretty regularly find yourself with widows up here, for example, that you're just repeatedly sort of slow falling down behind and Guardian Angeling back up. So your widow's up here and you slow fall down and you Guardian Angel back up and you slow fall down and you Guardian Angel back up and you slow fall down and you Guardian Angel back up. Sometimes your team will be holding here and you'll just be like, hey, that's cool. I can beam from here, or I can beam literally while standing in the corner and sort of go, hey, this is what I'm doing. But those are all reasonable spots for you to use here. And then if your team is holding hyper aggressive, you could get here. But yeah.
Heroes never die. Auf einer Skala von 1 bis 10. Wie fest ist
Are you sure you don't just want to play Zen? Like, it won the team fight, but here's what we look at. So, here you are.
Heroes never die.
I'm good enough with this Valk. It's not amazing. It's a little too early, this Valk. Your team isn't on top of the team that they want to be fighting yet, so this Valk is really a little too early. These guys could just run away from your team, this Valk, and be fine. But what you do is usually you'd pop the Valk like now, for example, and that would lead to a situation where they are not making this easy. You don't have a chain Valk that you can hit. Where you're going, hey, I'm trying to boost these 3. I'm trying to boost these 3 so that they take this out. Then I'm trying to boost these 2 so that they take this out. Yes, your Reinhardt is terrible at positioning and was on first point as well, but generally we're not looking to just take over with our Valks. That said, you have pistol abilities that are holding up at this tier of play, so I'm not going to be like upset, especially when your team isn't spreading well, but this is not going to be your optimal use of Valk as you go up. You're not going to be looking for, I'm going to Valk to get my pistol out. Which isn't to say it'll never happen, it's just not, yeah. I believe it, Jax.
Healing stream engaged. But damn it.
Into the eyes.
Okay, so we're gonna go for this res.
Damn it.
Let's back up here. Here you are. You're safe up here. Your Zarya is not, but you're helping your Zarya from up here. You've got a Zarya, a Junkrat, and a Reaper in play. This Reinhardt is in trouble.
Healing stream engaged.
Cool. You think you can hit this res even though there's a Zen right here. I'm unclear on why that's the case. You have plenty of time left on this res. There's a Zen right here and a Moira here. You don't necessarily know about the Kree, but you know about the Moira and Zen, and you're coming in to hit this res. It's just not worth it. Like, it's just not worth it. It is too likely that you're going to lose your own life. Either lose your own life and not get this res off, or lose your own life in exchange for getting this res off. And I'm not really okay with either of those deals. Yes, your Zarya has grab, but like, this team fight is already won. This card is already not moving, and you're just creating a risk of letting these guys back into this team fight by getting yourself eliminated. We don't really want to do that. Too dangerous of a risk.
But damn it. The battle continues. I'm on
And we
fire.
definitely don't pull our blaster out here. We look for, is there someone we can Guardian Angel away to? Can we look up and Guardian to our Junkrat? Could we have looked back faster and Guardian to our Reaper when he was a bit further away? The truth is, the answer at this moment is no, but if you'd been looking around faster, the answer very likely would have been yes. And I'd actually have tucked myself into here as best I could, because I know that soldier visor is going on, so I want to get myself in here to cut off one of the angles I'm being shot from.
Oh, the thought one.
I cast this forth.
Good as new.
Group up is what you spam while staggering into the enemy. Solo staggering is preferable when using the group up com. There you go, Plot. There you go. Obviously, I'm not being serious, guys, and neither is he. But hey.
Ich kümmere mich um dich.
Your Reaper's feeding, so boost your Junkrat. Boost your Junkrat. Your Junkrat has full health. Please boost them. 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 Boost! Boost the Junkrat. Boost the Junkrat. Look at your teammates. See if either of them, see if the Junkrat needs healing. No? No? You're not rezzing that. Good. Guardian past your Zarya.
Where does it
Guardian
hurt?
past your Zarya. Guardian past your Reinhardt. Don't walk, Guardian.
Let them up.
It's a 1.5 second cooldown. Use the ability of Guardian to move you through the open space faster. Yes, you create a tiny vulnerability window for yourself by having Guardian on cooldown, but it is preferable even for that short open space to Guardian across it, where you move faster and are therefore harder to hit, than it is to walk and still have Guardian available in case someone shows up at the other end. No one is likely to show up at the other end. No one is particularly mobile on their team except for D.Va. And she's not going to show up on top of you after you Guardian past your Reinhardt when your Reinhardt is right there. It won't be a good time for her. She won't get the elimination.
Heroes never die.
Okay, so we don't actually want to use our Q like this.
But damn it.
Let them up.
Law's Q sense was tingling, so we should have known. I know you popped this Q with a belief that you're going to Valk and that's going to give you chain healing and you're going to be able to save both of these people. That's not how we use Valk. The optimal way to use Valk isn't to pull out our blaster and go pew 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 pew. That's not the optimal way to use Valk. That looks more like a gas thing than it does a yeah, okay. Isn't to use our blaster to go pew pew pew, nor is it to try to like recover, to try to be like, Valk is like trans, right? Where I use my Valk and it saves my team and then my team goes on to win. No, it's not like that. Valk is an ult that lasts much longer than Transcendence or Beat, but doesn't provide nearly the defensive benefit. Your heals go up from 55 to 60 health per second. That's not very much. 60 health per second, McCree can outdamage that. Soldier can outdamage that. Everyone can outdamage that. Reaper can outdamage that. Junkrat can outdamage that. Junkrat with Smackers, he can outdamage that. Pharah does more than twice that with a rocket. Like, we're not looking for 60 health per second to get us back into a fight that we're already losing. That's not going to work. Everyone outdamages that. And yes, your team will hopefully use cover and things like that. And they won't be taking full, oh, look, a rocket hits me for more than twice that. Like, hopefully they won't be taking that many, so it would work. But that's not what you're going to get the most benefit out of this. It's generally not going to work. If you're trying to use Valk to get people back up when they're low health, you're generally going to lose. You're generally going to still lose them. You might slow down when you lose them, but you're going to still lose them. So instead, what you want to do is when everyone's just about at full health, or when everyone's close to full, and what you want is you want to use Valk at the beginning of the fight. You want to use Valk in like 6v6 scenarios right as the team fight is actually starting so that you can then chain boost 5 people. The secret of Mercy's kit is that she's really more of an offensive support that has res. She's not a healing support. Her ult definitely isn't a defensive ult. Her ult is an offensive ult. It's a power play. You want to treat this as like a, hey, I go ahead and as Mercy, I pop my ult very early in the fight. Well, it's 6v6. In fact, really just when the fight actually begins. My teams are actually close enough that the fight is sort of real. And in Bronze, it's 800 SR. You might not get exactly 6v6s. You might get, hey, it's a 4v4. You might get, hey, 4 of my teammates are here and 3 of yours are. Whatever. Like, that can be fine to go, it's a 6v5, it's a 5v4. I don't really care about that, but I care that it's early, basically the beginning of the fight. You want to be using Valk to take it from a 6v6 to more like a 7v6. The Valk should be your phantom 7th member. Use Valk to go up. Don't try to use Valk to get back in. And the way that works is if you Valk early when everyone on your team still has full health, but the other team is sort of committed to the fight, they're close enough that they can't reliably run away, or your team is close enough to them that it would be hard for the opposing team to get out, then you get to start with like the first third of your Valk. So you get to spend like the first third of your Valk as damage boost on 3, 4, 5 people, preferably, before you need to cave and go, oh, enough people are missing health. Let me triage. Let me heal a few more. Let me heal a little bit. And then I should be able to go back to blue beam. And then, okay, maybe I have to triage a little more. No problem. Oh, maybe I'm close to losing someone, so I've got to triage harder than I'd like. And then I get to go back to blue beam. And then once my Valk is over, I'll finish by healing anyone who's left, and that way I'll actually get ult charge for that healing. Fine. That's a good way to use Valk. If you instead start Valk when you're behind in a fight, what ends up happening is you go, hey, I have to heal. I have to heal like this. And then we get further behind because what I'm doing is healing, and healing isn't that effective. Healing is like, ooh, I get to heal 2 people at once, or maybe I heal 3 people at once, but really only 2 of them are taking damage. So is that really doing all that much? And I'm healing for a tiny bit more than I normally do. Is that like that helpful? No, that's not terribly helpful. So we look at that and go, I don't really like that. And then I have to keep healing because my team's not getting ahead. So I'm stuck in this situation where I have to keep healing before I finally get to do a little bit of blue and then go, oh, okay, got a little bit of blue off. That's good. But now I've got to go back to healing because we weren't able to get ahead. And then I get to go do some blue. And you see how this works where it's like, hey, you get much less, like if you start it with healing, you end up having to do much more healing. If you start your Valk with healing as opposed to damage boost, and if you use it at a time when you have to start with healing instead of damage boost, you get much less damage boost done, and damage boost is the much, much more valuable piece of Valk. It It's a lot. 30% increased damage for as many people as you can hit will shred the enemy team. And because it will shred them so hard, even if it doesn't instantly lead them to eliminations, it'll lead the enemy team to having to play super defensive, run to cover, etc., which means they won't shoot your team as hard, which means you won't have to heal them as much. Like, offensive Valk is much, much better. So we don't want to use Valk to try and save people like this. We don't want to use Valk to pull out our pistol most of the time. We want to use Valk to go ahead. And we have a $5 Canadian super chat coming in from Sulak here. Hey Sulak, great to see you here. I haven't forgotten about you, and it is great to see you here. Thank you once again for the $5 super chat. He's also got a smiley face with peace there, but no other message attached to that super chat. So thank you once again. Okay, let's wander back to our Mercy review here.
Heroes never die. I could use some assistance.
Oh, and you guys have to tell me, do you want me to change the UI so that super chats, I may do this anyways, but I'll chat with you guys. Do you guys want me to change the UI on my stream so that super chats come up like this on the screen? Or do you guys like them in the chat there? And I'm mostly asking the people who actually do super chats here. Like, is that something that's interesting that you guys like or not? If you like it popping up and like that, that's something that obviously is doable. Or if you just like it lingering in chat like that, that's fine too. But you guys tell me. Much love. Thanks for the VODs. Very good info. No problem, man. I'm glad you're enjoying them.
Immer unterbricht mich jemand bei der Arbeit.
You should do it. Some people like to give money just for the notif. Yeah, I think that's probably the right answer.
Let me get you patched up.
Okay, here you are. Cool. Damage boosting your soldier. You can't save them. You can't save them. Their positioning is awful and terrible, and you can't save them. So just keep damage boosting your soldier. You could go to Bastion if you want. You cannot save these two. I don't care that there's a lamp here. You can't do it. No, no, no. Moth to the flame. You cannot be sacrificing your life to save people that have just terrible positioning. That said, you have to recognize what terrible positioning is. Like, that was terrible positioning. Being aggressive isn't necessarily terrible positioning, but just being in the open like that on their heels is not good positioning. I think you could press that from further away. Yeah. Okay. So you spend way, way too much time in the open. You spend way too much time where the enemies can see you. You don't think enough about, hey, where am I going to Guardian Angel 2 to get out, or where am I going to Guardian Angel 2 for cover? And then the second or third thing, depending on how you want to think about it, is we've got to fix your Valks. You can't be Valking to try to recover. It's not a save my team ult. It's a push my team ahead ult. It's a power play ult. You've used it a lot for your blaster, which if you feel your blaster mechanics are significantly better than your SR, and at 800 they probably are, you can continue to get away with that. That's not something you'll be able to do forever. That becomes a lot more specialized, like I'm locking down a Widow with Valk while my team has no Widow counters type specialized.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
You said you would arm wrestle me. Nervous?
Nervous? Me? Never!
You needed a doctor?
5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
Attackers incoming.
Ich kümmere mich um dich. Keep an eye on your health and call for me if you need assistance. Damage increase. Where does it hurt?
Wait, why do we not like our Hanzo? So here you are. You can heal the Bastion up a little bit. That's fine. He's discorded. It's worth healing him up. You can't heal your Reinhardt. Your options are your Bastion or your Hanzo. Not sure why we're damage boosting our Hanzo when he's at 62 life.
Where does it hurt?
Our Bastion's still weak. Excuse me, our Hanzo's still weak. Okay, that's fine. Now can we swap back to our Hanzo, please? Please? I would heal your Hanzo up. Damage boosting your Bastion is great, but that Hanzo is weak, and you know it. And here's the thing, your BAP is mostly going to look at your core because he's mostly looking at tanks. That's how BAP works. He's trying to look at tanks, and while seeing tanks, see the opponent so that he can weave between his shots, which means he's actually likely to get your Bastion healed up. You still might want to heal your Bastion because Bastion is so pivotal, so important to how you guys are playing right now. But he's much less likely, BAP, to see people who are playing away from the core, who go on flanks, who take angles, who take wide angles, or play at depths. So people like Hanzo, people like Widow, those are much more your responsibility. You can help out here, but your responsibility is on these people. So BAP's not going to catch up on Hanzo while you're not looking. You got to get Hanzo, for the most part. Okay. Stabilize the Bastion. Not the Reinhardt. Not the Reinhardt. Not the Reinhardt. Oh my god. If you lose Hanzo, I'm going to be so upset. You lose Bastion instead. That upsets me less. Okay. Please don't be here. Please don't. Does this look right to you? Does this look right to you? I hope the answer is no. Stay behind the cart. GA back to here, and then damage boost from here, or heal the Hanzo. You don't need to heal the Hanzo anymore. Now you can damage boost him, but still. It's fine, he's gone. Why are you holding heals? Why are you holding damage boost while the Bastion is transforming? He can't shoot until he's finished transforming. Now you can be on damage, but you should have been on heals while he was transforming. Or you could have been boosting Hanzo. Okay, so now you're going to swap to heals. You're going to Guardian Angel to your Bastion, and you're going to then let yourself glide down in this direction so that you have cover. That's how this is going to work. No. You scare me. Full health. Damage boost it. Damage boost it. Swap to the BAP. Swap to the BAP. The Bastion has a bubble. Damage boost the Zarya that the D.Va can't defend against. Good.
You should be at peak performance level. Don't let up
You're
on me.
almost right, but why are you here as opposed to here? Go, here you actually have a wall that you can use as cover. Here, that McCree can shoot at you whenever he wants. You don't control whether or not the McCree gets to shoot at you.
Let me get you patched up.
Keep the cart between you and the opponents.
The payload has reached
Great.
the checkpoint.
Damage boost engaged.
Good! And you stayed on him until he was transformed there. Or you stayed on heals until he was transformed there.
Enemy turret ahead. Watch yourself. Where does it go?
It's a little slow to swap your beam to the Zarya. Like, you Guardian to her and that was fine, but you were quite close to her before you swapped the beam.
Heroes never die.
Good! This is actually closer to when you want to use your Valk. Like, you're using your Valk as this fight is starting, and you get to start with early damage boost here, and this is exactly what we want. So do this. And now you might have to swap to heals, and that's fine. That's fine. You got some good damage boost work done there initially. Didn't work out in part because they coalescence, but this was conceptually correct. And now you're going to try to heal to stabilize. Okay, and now you can go right back to the damage boost. Perfect.
I'm taking care of you.
Don't need to heal that. That's fine. You can stay on damage boost. You're going to do this instead. That's going to be tough. I don't think you have the mechanics to take down a baby D.Va with a Harmony Orb. I gotta be honest. Okay, if she has no movement, that's fine.
Und wo tut's jetzt weh? This is not your time.
Why do you use your blaster still out, though? Like, without your Valk, your blaster has reloads. Your blaster's not as good without your Valk. Okay, but again, look at your relative positioning. If you're here, and your Bastion is here, and your Reinhardt is here, and your Zarya is here, and your BAP is here on the ground, Should you be here? Should you? Or should you get tucked behind this wall here? Or tucked behind the tank up back there? Or even tucked over here behind your Zarya? This isn't where you should be. The cart is not your priority as Mercy. It's really not. The cart is not your priority. If you want to play a main support that gets to think about the cart a little more, you go Lucio. Lucio could be like, yeah, I'm going to do cart shenanigans. I'm going to do objective shenanigans. Mercy really doesn't care about the cart. Oh, the cart's about to cap? That's nice. That's nice. Someone else will take care of it because I just won't. Like, without Valk, I just won't take care of the cart. It's not happening. And even with Valk, it's not the greatest use of Valk. I'd really prefer to make someone else do it. I think Temporal is trying to say that Mercy can't drive the payload. There you go. There you go. I'm making some comment about Angels not being able to drive. Well, I learned that in Bronze you need to do the eliminations, push payload, and stuff like that because others often don't do it. If you win the team fight, the payload will magically find a way to move. I can pretty much promise. Win the team fight.
A speedy recovery.
Yeah, you want to be very careful about people that are telling you stuff that is do this to compensate for bronze because all of your teammates are worthless. Because guess what? I can tell you that silver players also think their teammates are worthless. Gold players also think their teammates are worthless. Plat players also think their teammates are worthless. Do you see a pattern here? Because guess what? You'll also hear GMs complain about how 4.0 to 4.2K players aren't real GMs. Those aren't real GMs. Those are also useless. And then you'll hear about, and it keeps going. Like, it really does keep going. Everyone thinks their teammates is useless at every rank. Not everyone, but, you know, people think their teammates are useless at every rank. So this like, oh, you have to do it all yourself because it's bronze thing, don't buy too hard into that.
It's hand.
Yeah, Bastion has been happy to be on the payload. And don't use bronze tactics to get out of bronze. Good advice. Play like the SR you want to be at. Excuse me? You've known how to super jump this whole time? You've known how to super jump this whole time, and this is the first one I've seen. What? There have been I just assumed you didn't know how to super jump because there's been so many places where super jumping would have given you better positions that you didn't take. Okay, well this changes things. I don't know why you're going for this super jump. Like, it's okay. If you want to pocket the Bastion, yes, you're right to super jump here. It's giving you a little more protection. Now drift left to get out of the McCree. Okay. Cool. Keep heals, keep heals. Unfortunate. Tuck left. Not sure why you're on heal beam. Not sure why you're on heal beam. You gonna drop? You're gonna scoot left and drop, right? Left back drop. Psh. No. No, the correct answer is not to pull out your pistol and fight the McCree with 60 health. It's to drop. Like, come on. You know this. It's not like dropping costs anything. You're Mercy. Your Reinhardt's right there. You can go back up if you want.
I've got you.
It's actually me in the video. Yeah, I figured. Good stuff. Did super jump before in defense? Did you? Did you super jump before? An actual super jump? I don't recall that. Okay.
Fire at will.
Why are you just standing still here? Get information with your camera. You don't get to just be passive and slow with Mercy. Mercy might seem simple, like, oh, I just get to chill out and put my beam on someone and relax. No, you go, hey, I have actions available. I have actions available. I have attention available. I have all this stuff. I can check. Is someone coming through this flank? Is someone coming through this flank? Is someone over there? How's my team doing? Is my team close to back? Team is pretty far away. Okay, well, if my team's pretty far away, do I maybe want to start hustling and communicating, hey, Zarya, let's pull back a bit? Do I need to check on this more? Do I need to adjust my positioning to be tighter on this wall, tighter on this wall? Like, you don't just get to be like, well, now I'm going to stand here. What? What? I hear that, McCree. Why don't you hear that, McCree? You shouldn't have had to hear that, McCree. You should have seen that, McCree.
I could use some assistance. Healing stream engaged.
Okay. Damage. 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 Warrior on heals. Heals while he's transforming. Good, and he's stunned, and now into damage. No, too slow.
Where does it hurt?
You gonna use it? I knew you were. Okay. That was actually pretty good. You used the lamp to clear the off-angle Ana. I like it. No. It was good. We don't keep going for this. Like, we cleared the off-angle threat, so our team only has to deal with a threat in one direction now. That was good, but we don't now keep going to try to get the elimination. We did what we needed to. She's not threatening our team anymore. Our team now only has to deal with threats in basically one direction here. So use that, use the time, use the 4 seconds of freedom that you've bought your team from a threat from this angle to help your team push this angle. The one on defense was a slingshot jump. The GA was slightly higher than Mercy. It was not a crouch GA super or a bounce GA super. Yeah, the slingshots I consider a little different. I find the slingshot tech is a little easier, more reliable for people who haven't, for people who are still learning super. Easier tech to execute, basically.
Heroes never die.
Okay. I can work with this. This is still fine with me. I don't like that you're on heals. I want damage boost, but hey. Damage. 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 No. No. He can beat you. That's a McCree. You don't want to chase down a McCree with your Valk unless you know that he doesn't have flash. Also, you could have predicted he was going for the mini. He can beat you. If he's able to flash you, even in bronze, there's a not a good, but a better than I'm comfortable with chance that he can eliminate you, even when you've got your super Valk movement and super Valk again. I'm a little surprised you came in this way. Since we're optimizing offensive Valks now. So, the right thing would have been to damage boost to everyone. Forget the right thing to do. He's going to go here for the mini. He's going to. It's almost positive that he's going to do that. We can work our way forward, but we're going to keep our crosshair facing as much towards this as we can as we advance. So this is the wrong spot for our crosshair, but I understand it. And now that we definitely need to have turned it, because we still hear him moving. Okay, unfortunate. Bring your crosshair. Your crosshair shouldn't still be here. Your crosshair should be over here, if this is what we're doing with this. We can't be this close. We need to pull back. We need to pull ourselves a little bit back. Just a little bit further back so that flashbanging isn't an option for him. Our bullets travel plenty fast. Yes, shots are easier for us if we're close because they're a projectile, but we need the extra little bit of distance so that he can't flash us. Cannot let him get this close. And as he walks out like this, we actually want to be sending ourselves more up because as we're more up, his head becomes relatively bigger for us and he has to aim at something that is more uncomfortable. People are going to be less practiced aiming up like this. It's something that they're less practiced on the flicks on and the aiming for than they will be at aiming, say, at that height compared to that height. Plus, if you're up here, his head gets bigger relative to his body. It's easier to get headshots. So that's what we want to do. Cool. Now I see the Ana. I'm going to turn and shoot at the Ana. I'm absolutely going to turn and shoot at the Ana. I'm going to shoot preferably just behind the Ana. Like I'm going to shoot the Ana, and then I'm going to start dragging my crosshair this way because I expect the Ana to try to retreat towards this cover. If she goes the other direction, I'll flick real fast and adjust my leading shots because, again, I'm shooting a projectile from pretty far away, even if it is a fast-moving projectile. Drag left. Drag left. No, you're trying to react to her. Now you're dragging. Nope, nope. You're trying to hit her. You're not bleeding at all. And then I see this. I'm just going to dart right over here right now. Because once I dart over here, it effectively takes away her options. Because it was always likely that she was going to come over here. But it's also she then from here, the place that she would like to, if you then threaten her from here, she can't then retreat back here because you still hit her. She can only retreat here. And if she retreats here, that's really pretty open to your team. That's not great. That forces her into worse positioning. So we wanted to be advancing. We wanted to lead her better. And then we were always going to dart over here rather than follow her this way. If we follow her this way, she's going to be ready for us. She might have a nade or a sleep ready for us. I don't like either of those things. I'm going to go over here. It's going to surprise her a little bit. I have more options in where I come through because I can also do things like go over here and then pop up here. Anything that changes where I open it, so it's not just the obvious, oh, I get slept. This is less obvious, but still could get slept, so I might even go up here and come down here. Anything to change where I break the plane a little bit so I don't walk into a sleep dart. Good.
You might not want to tell your friends about that.
Not leading these as well as we could be. And now we're going out to the bastion. You missed your option. You had a guardian lock there to get out. You just missed it. And you also could have hopped that for sure. Like, you for sure could have slingshot hopped that box. No, no, no. Come on. I'll humor you a little. I'll humor you a little, but this, no. No. You don't win this matchup. I'm Diamond, and this Mercy is better aim than me. Hurts, doesn't it, Mercedes? That's sort of why I'm not telling this Mercy to just seal their blaster. Like, it's one of those things where it's wrong, but their mechanics with the blaster are enough better than their SR that they can climb with it. They'd have an easier time just swapping to Zen and climbing with Zen, assuming that their Zen aim holds up at all, but so be it. It's funny how you don't realize how many mistakes you do in a match. Yeah, you've got too many things going on in a match. That's perfectly normal. The better you get at recognizing them. And also, it can help, though, because sometimes you just can't recognize your own mistakes because you don't know that they're mistakes yet. You don't think of them like that. I'm less a fan of this one. Why are you healing your Reinhardt? Like, why are you even interested in your Reinhardt when your Bastion's over here? This was silly. This was silly.
I could use some assistance.
Oh boy.
I'm taking care of you.
Why do you think you can do
I
this?
could use some assistance. I'm taking care of you.
Not a thing. Not a thing. Do you think that Reinhardt has like 3 health? Why do you think he can do this? Like, he'll pin. He'll for sure pin. He will for sure pin, and it'll be worth it. He can swing at you instead, but there's no reason for him not to pin you. Instead, he shattered you. He was too slow about it, but he shattered you. You don't want to go for reses that you have a high probability of getting eliminated during. Like, it's just not worth it. The art to Mercy becomes figuring out, is this a 55-45 res, and is it worth hitting? Yes. That's the true art to getting Mercy reses, like, perfect. Like, okay, we're in a situation where it is a 4v4, or more likely it is a 3v4, and if I go for this res and I call this res and I hit this res, there's like a 55% chance I'll get the res off and survive, and a 45% chance that either I'll get eliminated or either I'll get eliminated or the res won't get off, or I'll get the res off but immediately get eliminated, etc. Like, getting these right is the art. These reses aren't even close to that. These reses aren't even close to that. These reses, like the res that you did over here earlier in front of the Zen, the res that you did up there, that was like a 30% chance, even at this SR, of getting those off, or maybe a 40% chance of getting these off. These weren't even close. And They don't have to be. Like, you can just wait, and if you wait, you will find things where it's like a 70% clean chance to get your res off. Don't res with opponents just staring at you without good team cover. Like, don't do it. It would have been easy to force that Reinhardt out before getting that res. And you didn't particularly have to get that res right then. Low SR teammates beg for res in chat too much? Yeah, but we don't care about them.
60 seconds remaining.
Heroes never die.
Look, I'm tempted to just optimize your blaster play because you can climb out of bronze with it, but oof. It's not going to work as you go higher, but oof. Okay. Mercy play the game? that was a Dragon Blade. Don't be fooled, that was a Dragon Blade, guys. Okay. Okay, so the issue, of course, is that your Valk is over, and your positioning sucks. Your Valk is over, and your positioning sucks, and I don't think you have a good enough idea of what teammates you're going to Guardian Angel to. You have no cover. You have no cover available, and which teammate are you going to Guardian Angel to? Do you have lots of Guardian Angel choices? No. You basically have one Guardian Angel choice, because these two are standing in the same spot for you. If you were here, it might be two different Guardian Angels, but from your perspective, this is one Guardian Angel option. That's not what you want. You want to be positioned where you can see lots of teammates and have lots of options. Okay, slow to pull out our rod here, our staff. Yeah, and then we get eliminated because we're in this bad spot.
30 seconds remaining.
Ah, the wonders of modern medicine.
The payload has come to a halt.
Get 10 seconds.
Time grows short.
Clear the off angle. You're right. No, you were right to clear the off angle. Would be better if your teammates did it, but your teammates aren't going to. Like, proper distribution of labor would be you have the Rhine here, and you actually damage boost your BAP as he clears the off angle, but that's probably not going to happen.
Follow me.
You can just GA back up to him. No, you're going to go on a flank mission with the blaster. Interesting. Okay, so here's the thing. No, let's get a blaster screen. This is a blaster mercy. Cool. So here's the thing. There's like 3 things that we'd usually go into you as a mercy player for right here, and those 3 things are: you like the open way too much. You stand in the open. I care less when you have Valk going, but you stand in the open way too much as mercy. You don't need to be able to see your opponents. You need to be able to see your teammates. So, like, if your teammates are here and your opponents are over here, what you would like is a piece of cover right here that you can stand behind and pick which teammate you're going to beam. That's what you would like. Those are the positions that you want. That is where you play as mercy. And, you know, your teammates, if they're more spread out, that's fine. They can be up over here, and you have the option of going, I'm going to go here, or I'm going to go here, or maybe I'm going to peek and go here, and then hop behind a new piece of cover. But you want to be putting yourself in positions where you aren't. If your teammates are here, and the opponents are here, you aren't here. That doesn't make sense. Nor are you here, which we saw a few times, which is just terrifying. Please don't do that. So you got to fix your positioning. You want to, as mercy, be thinking about, I would like to have cover between me and the core of the opposing team, but still be able to see multiple of my teammates. I would like to know where as many of my teammates are as possible, and I would like to be able to see them even if I'm having to look through a wall to have them on my screen. That's something that you would like as Mercy. It gives you the most options in terms of knowing where your escape paths are, being able to escape, knowing what people's health status are for if you have to beam them, and having the option to blue or yellow beam them. It gives you like 3 different things: escape options, healing options, damage boost options. You've got 3 options for each teammate that you can keep on your screen, which is something that you want to do. So that's like the first thing. The second thing we'd talk about is your reses. Your reses are just too dangerous. I don't care how much people go, res me, I'll carry, res me, res me, res me. Why didn't Mercy res me? Like, I don't care how much people are complaining. Remember, I don't care if you're in voice chat or not in voice chat. Doesn't matter to me in the slightest. You have to keep your reses safer than they are. Like, you cannot be going for reses in front of a Zenyatta, in front of a Reinhardt, in front of a McCree and a Zenyatta. Like, those are too dangerous. And I know it's only a couple reses, but you don't get very many reses off, You don't get very many reses off per game, so you have to be careful and calculating with them. You're looking for reses specifically that take you from behind to neutral, so from, say, a 3v4 to a 4v4, or from neutral, so like a 5v5, to a head, so from like a 5v5 to a 6v5. Those are the reses you want, and you only want to hit those reses when it's relatively safe, when it's more likely than not that you'll get the res. And if you're neutral, so if it's like 4v4, you want pretty good odds. 50-50 isn't good enough for you to justify a 50-50 to go risk your life to get a res, because you had decent odds of winning that 4v4. You instead you might take 50-50 if it's 4v5 and you have to res to get back up to 5 yourself. You might take those odds, but you really don't want to be putting yourself in these risks. Instead, damage boost someone to help create the opening, to help pressure the enemy team, to help get them back so that you can more safely get the res off. That's really how it works. And if you're keeping more of your teammates on your screen more consistently, I don't know why I put a rhyme there. If you're keeping more of your teammates on your screen more consistently, you're actually going to see more res opportunities, ones that you missed, that you can then go, oh, this is a res opportunity that is relatively safe for me to go get, that there's an 80% chance that I can get because there's no one just holding a sightline on me. There's not a McCree standing right next to it that's going to flash it, things like that. Your reses are too dangerous, too risky, especially that one over there and the one that we had over there. So those are the 2 things that I'm actually going to give you to work on. For most Mercies, I would then go complain about Valk, and I'd walk through, this is how Valk works, and we want to be focusing on our damage boost during Valk, and we want to damage boost Valk early in the fight so that people aren't missing health, so that there's no pressure on us to heal, so that we can use the Valk to damage boost to get ahead, to not have to heal, to win the fight. And that's all true, and you should know all these things, but you are going to continue to use your Valk like a Dragon Blade and win like that. Like, you are going to do that until probably gold. I can see that. I'm not too worried about that. In silver and gold, it's going to get a little harder. Even in higher bronze, it's going to get a little bit harder. But you're going to use your Valk like that, and I'm not particularly worried about it. We can optimize it a little better. I talked about optimizing it a little better. You're going to have to get a little more comfortable with leading your shots because it is a projectile when you're shooting people across the way like that. Like this Ana a couple times could have been deleted faster, and you're going to have to think more about staying away from McCree's, which means, again, you're going to have to be more comfortable fighting someone at a little bit of distance even as they're hitting their strafes. Like, even as they're hitting their strafes, even as they're aware of you and they're taking a ranged duel with you, you're going to have to get a little more comfortable about leading your shots in Valk so that you can still beat him without being close enough to risk getting flashed and eliminated. Because even in higher bronze, you'll face some risk of getting flashed and eliminated if you fight McCree's how you were fighting them. And then without Valk, I don't know why you were fighting the Moira. Like, you have no business fighting the Moira. You would have to be much, much better than her to fight a Moira with Mercy's kit and expect to come out on top, especially when you don't have Valk going, like in a 1v1. That was just silly. Okay, that's going to do it If you or anyone else has questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If people are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to have questions answered yourself in the future, the best way to do that is to join my Discord. Go to Get Notifications and then React to get the Watcher role. Then you'll get pings whenever I go live, and that's fantastic because you get your pings when I go live. You can be here to ask me questions, and we can do a little bit of back and forth to hopefully make sure I can answer your question. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we have question-wise. Stop chasing down flankers. Bronze Blaster Mercy. I don't think that's going to be my advice this time. Super jump. It's too complicated. The buttons at the same time for me sometimes. You just practice it until you get it. So mistakes like you should damage boost to full health target, not heal, or you really shouldn't be doing this at all. I don't follow the context. Sorry, blah. Oh. Val's explaining how to super jump with rebinded keys. That's an option. We talked about the aim. You were banging your head against the wall after getting taken down by Moira? Well, you shouldn't have been fighting her. Like, you know that. You should not go there, exactly. Can I have a request? Could you maybe check the Garlic guy on my team? Was in a duo with him, and he needs help to climb from bronze, and he is playing a lot of BAP lately. I'm not going to do another freebie review here, no. Like, if I'd seen that earlier, I could have jumped over and watched a little bit of him or something, but I'm not going to go through and do another review of him. I think we're done with this review here. Maybe some other time. Or he can throw up his own post and maybe I'll see it and I'll grab it as a marketing thing. My elder rule applies. If your response is it works at my level, it's probably why you're at that level. Yes, except that this person's offensive Valks are going to continue to work. Like, this person's playing in an 800 SR bronze game, and this person can get fully out of bronze with aggressive Valks like this. I agree it's not right, but I can also tell you that how do I say this? I agree it's not right. We all know it's not right, but it's going to work to get him out of this level, and Mercy can be a frustrating hero to climb with. We could teach him how to do 12 things more right, or her how to do 12 things more right, but it's not like having that option in his toolkit or in his belt for later is wrong. He wouldn't do a full offensive Valk in Diamond, for example, but going offensive for moments, for half, for a third, for a fifth of your Valk is still something you'll do even in GM. And so going, hey, I'm going to get aggressive with the whole Valk sort of as a limit test, almost as practice, as like a Dragon Blade like we talked about. It's not necessarily a bad skill for him to work on. It's not a bad skill for him to use because it's not like he won't use part of that skill later. I want to see this Nursey player get nanoed. Nanovalk, there we go. Thanks for the review. How do you pronounce Blue Ryan's name? I can't do that. Why should Lucio or Moira be on payload more than Mercy? None of them are particularly effective at long range. I'm not sure that I agree that Lucio isn't particularly effective at long range, but Lucio can be on payload because sending your Lucio to payload, Lucio is effective at stalling the payload while staying alive. Like, Lucio can effectively protect the payload. He can stall while keeping himself alive, freeing up your tanks to go do something else. Mercy can't stay alive very well in the payload. She can't stall a payload very long. She can't push a payload and protect herself if a flanker shows up to contest her the same way that a Lucio can. So that's really what's going on there. It's that Lucio being on the payload could free up your D.Va to get more aggressive, your Zarya to get more aggressive, something like that if you're in a defend, stall the payload, stop it from getting pushed perspective. Mercy is not good at that. Give him the Discord and he can see Temporal's rates or try for a freebie hopeful? Exactly. You have to know it's not optimal play. You can play like this, but you have to know it won't work higher. Am I right? I mean, you know that. This is you asking that, and you're the one who's doing the aggressive Valkyries. But yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I gave you what you needed here, like what you need to climb. You can continue using your Valks like this. This isn't going to bother me, but you do want to work on you're just way too in the open, way too in the open. Get yourself behind cover. Think about your positioning so that you have cover between you and the opponent, and so that you can see your team significantly more, and then get those reses under control. You're looking to hit reses that are relatively high probability reses that either bring a fight back to even or put you ahead. You're not just resing because someone went down, and you're not flying into any danger the instant someone goes down to get the res off. You have to evaluate how dangerous is the res before you do so. Some habits become hard to break. Sure, they do. I don't think this will be a particularly hard one to break, though. The Valk. Like, I don't think changing Valk to do it offensively correctly will be a harder thing once the player gets better. Okay. I think that's going to do it. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what my rates look like, what sort of promos we have going on, all that stuff. Thanks, Temporal out.